Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we look at another 3 cases of extreme medical negligence, so grab a drink and get comfortable. Story 1. The Butcher of South Beach. South Beach, Miami. Known for its vibrant nightlife, sandy shores, and luxury. But behind the glitz and glamour, there was a man whose twisted actions would shock the world. Reynaldo Silvestre, a surgeon who once seemed to have it all. A booming cosmetic surgery practice, a reputation for transforming bodies, and an air of success that anyone would envy. But in 2005, everything would change. His downfall would begin with a single, fateful request. Alexander Baez, former Mr. Mexico and runner-up for Mr. Universe, makes an appointment with Dr. Silvestre and tells him, "I just want bigger pecs." You know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. One would think that a renowned surgeon would have a stockpile of implants for every conceivable procedure, but Reynaldo Silvestre didn't. So when Baez walked into his office asking for pec implants, Silvestre found himself in a difficult position. With no pec implants available, Silvestre decided to do something unbelievable. He used women's breast implants instead. But the real horror would begin when Baez woke up. The bodybuilder woke up to find something he didn't expect, and something that would haunt him forever. Women's breasts. Instead of the masculine pecs he wanted, he now had a body that was entirely wrong. But the real mystery? His surgeon had vanished. "Where the hell is the doctor?" exclaims Baez, voice overflowing with emotions. The manhunt for Dr. Silvestre began immediately. But as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered something far darker than anyone could have imagined. Silvestre wasn't just a botched surgeon. He wasn't even a doctor at all. Investigators discovered that he had never completed a legitimate medical degree. Worse still, he had been using animal anesthetic and even kitchen spatulas during his procedures. And he filmed every single one. He recorded every horrific moment, every failed operation. His videos were a chilling reminder of the nightmare that was unfolding. 5 years later, Silvestre was caught in an unlikely place, Belize. By now, he had assumed a new identity, practicing as a doctor and even teaching at a medical school. Silvestre's reign of terror finally came to an end when he was apprehended. But the questions remained. How could someone so dangerous, so unqualified, slip through the cracks for so long? Silvestre faced 2 criminal counts for his illegal surgeries. And in a stunning twist, he pleaded guilty in exchange for a 7-year prison sentence. A man who had once played with the lives of his patients, now locked away for his twisted actions. The Butcher of South Beach, a name that will never be forgotten. A reminder that behind the polished facades, there can be darkness lurking in the most unexpected places. Stay tuned for more stories of extreme medical malpractice, and remember, not every doctor you meet is who they claim to be. Story 2. That tickles. William Morrison thought he was doing the responsible thing. When his wife tested positive for the human papillomavirus, or HPV, he decided to get checked. A simple test, he thought. A routine medical procedure to ensure his own health. But what he didn't know was that one wrong move in the clinic would change his life forever. In order to test for HPV in men, there's a solution that's typically applied to the genitals. It's usually a mild, diluted acid, just 3 to 5% acetic acid. But in Morrison's case, that's not what he received. What Morrison didn't realize was that the nurse, for reasons still unclear, applied a solution containing 72% acetic acid, more than 10 times the amount needed. The result? Severe burns, excruciating pain, and a psychological nightmare that would follow him for years. The burns were catastrophic. The pain was unbearable. What was supposed to be a simple test had turned into a life-altering medical disaster. But this wasn't just a case of human error. It was the beginning of a long and drawn-out battle for justice. Morrison filed a lawsuit, determined to hold the clinic, the nurse, and the attending physician accountable for what happened. But as the trial unfolded, a disturbing truth emerged. It turned out the nurse had already made the same mistake before. Another patient had been burned by the exact same solution. Yet, despite this, the courts ruled that there wasn't enough evidence of gross negligence. Although Morrison was awarded damages for his suffering, the court decided there wasn't enough evidence to prove the clinic, the nurse, or the doctor were guilty of gross negligence. Without that, Morrison wasn't able to claim punitive damages. It was a devastating blow to Morrison. The legal system had failed to deliver the justice he felt he deserved. But his story is far from unique. Medical malpractice happens more often than we realize, and sometimes it slips through the cracks. Medical errors can happen anywhere. In a trusted clinic, in a hospital, even in the most routine procedures. That's why it's crucial to do your homework. Before you trust anyone with your health, take the time to research your doctor, the clinic, and the staff. Ask plenty of questions. Understand the risks. And if you ever find yourself in a situation like Morrison's, it's important to consult with a medical malpractice attorney to understand your rights and seek the justice you deserve. William Morrison's story is a harsh reminder that not all medical procedures are as safe as they should be. While he didn't get the full compensation he sought, he is now an advocate for others who may find themselves in a similar situation. And while the scars of his experience may never fade, the hope remains that others will learn from his story and never underestimate the importance of asking the right questions when it comes to their health. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and always ask questions. Because in medicine, the stakes couldn't be higher. Story 3. Do you smell smoke? Imagine this. You're in surgery, trusting that the medical professionals around you will keep you safe. But for one woman from Southern Illinois, what was meant to be a routine procedure became a nightmare that ended in a tragedy few could have ever anticipated. Janice McCall, a 65-year-old woman from Energy, Illinois, was admitted to Heartland Regional Medical Center for surgery in early September. Little did she know, a rare but deadly event was about to unfold in that very operating room. During her surgery, something went terribly wrong. A flash fire, a rare and terrifying occurrence, erupted in the operating room. Janice McCall was severely burned, a victim of an accident that would eventually claim her life. 6 days later, McCall was transferred to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee, where she tragically died from complications related to thermal burns. Her family was left in shock, grappling with a pain no one should ever have to endure. Her family's attorney, Robert Howerton, said they were still in the dark about the details of the fire. Despite requesting medical records, many answers remained elusive. What they did know was devastating. Janice, their anchor, was gone. According to Howerton, the family is heartbroken. Every family has an anchor, and she was it, he said. They're devastated. And it's not hard to understand why. The pain of losing a loved one is unimaginable, especially in such a senseless way. In a brief statement, Heartland Regional Medical Center confirmed that the flash fire had occurred. They described it as an accidental event, stating that the fire was quickly extinguished. But the hospital did not elaborate on how it started, and crucial details remained unclear. Flash fires during surgery are incredibly rare, but they do happen. These fires are most often triggered by a combination of factors, such as oxygen buildup under surgical drapes and the use of electric surgical tools that can spark. According to Mark Bruley, vice president of the ECRI Institute, surgical flash fires occur roughly 550 to 600 times a year in the U.S. That may sound like a low number, but the consequences can be catastrophic. Only 1 or 2 people die from these fires annually, but each death, like Janice McCall's, is a tragedy that leaves a lasting impact. Despite the hospital's brief acknowledgement of the accident, they haven't provided much information on how or why the fire occurred. They've also declined to comment further, citing privacy laws and the family's request for privacy. Yet, the questions linger. How could something so devastating happen in a place we trust with our lives? For Janice's family, this tragedy is more than just a medical error. It's a profound loss. A loss that could have been prevented. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that even in a place where we expect the highest levels of care, things can go horribly wrong. While flash fires in surgery are rare, they are a real threat. And the impact they have on the lives of victims and their families is immeasurable. For Janice McCall and countless others, this tragedy raises more questions than answers. That concludes today's video. If you enjoyed it or learned something new, like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you next time.